Alright, thanks for joining me in today's video. This video is going to be a little different than my usual videos where normally I'll talk about toys or trading cards or something along those lines, maybe a movie. In this case, it's going to be, as far as I know, my first bit of advice for any eBay sellers out there, because I also sell on eBay. You can find my account under Samson Smarty Pants. So recently, what I had a problem with was somebody from Chile ordered one of my Star Wars figures. It was only like a $30 sale, but the shipping was $30 to send it there. And I'm hesitant. I've been hesitant about shipping things to the South American countries for at least 10 years. They tend to have too many buyers that'll claim the item did not get there, and the tracking is not efficient in a lot of the places. So that it's so bad that I quickly learned, just don't even deal with the whole continent. Now recently I did sell a Spock action figure to a guy in Brazil, and that tracking went through perfectly. That was fine. But I even have in my terms that I don't sell to South America. But not, I don't know how long it's been going on now. It could have been a year, maybe two, something like that. eBay started a global shipping program, which it is, for the reasons I will get into, it is a very good program. It's excellent. What it does is, from what I see, is you ship your item out and it goes to a hub. Usually it's Kentucky for me. Every now, I think California is a spot somewhere too. And then once it goes to Kentucky, I can't prove this, but I think that eBay even has people evaluate that you actually are sending the item you sent. I say that because I sold to a Canadian buyer, and they claimed that the item may not have been what it was or something, but then the case got dropped, and I have a feeling that at some point it was evaluated to prove that I did ship it, but I don't know that for a fact. The correct item, that is. But anyway, in this case that recently happened, it went to some place in California, where then it eventually got routed down to Chile, like a sort center down there, and that was back in February, and it wouldn't let the buyer open a dispute until like April 12th or something. And yeah, the tracking stopped for it in like February 12th. Like it arrived at the country, and then got to the sort center and vanished. Now, and sure enough, this is also a bit of advice for internet. Generally speaking, I do not leave feedback until the buyer has left it for me, because not that it's much recourse, it's almost like the only thing we as a seller have. And we can't even leave negative feedback. I don't know what situations enable us to, but it is very rare. And so the closest you can get to at least answering what happened to you is to leave it as maybe neutral, which I don't even think you can leave. You have to put like a positive or something, and even then it takes the other buyer or sellers to see closely the details. But anyway, yeah, I wait till the tracking is confirmed that it was delivered. And in this case, I saw that it had not arrived, and I was hoping, maybe since I hadn't heard from him, maybe he got to him, but I wasn't going to alert him to the fact that the tracking wasn't showing it as delivered. But sure enough, April 12th or whatever came along, and he opened a dispute wanting a full refund. Now, obviously, yeah, if he didn't get the item, that's valid and understandable. It's just very suspicious to me that all these 2 months or whatever went by, he didn't send a message saying, "Hey, what's going on? It hasn't moved." I personally, maybe I'm a bit of a cynic. I think he got it, or somehow, and the tracking didn't go through, and he does this routinely, I think. But well, here's the heart of this whole video coming up. That's what happened. And what happens is eBay sends you this thing saying, "Hey, you're going to have to refund this buyer the $60 because you can't prove that it got there." And it gives you like three choices. You can either send a message to the buyer, you know, hopefully trying to work it out. But one way or another, this guy's trying to get his money back. The other option is the full refund, and And I think there's another one for updating with tracking information. But if the tracking, like that happened not too long ago with a domestic buyer, that I was able to show the tracking and cover my butt. But in this case, all I could do was show that, hey, I had sent it, and with the assumption that the international hub, the team, or whatever they are with global shipping, I would assume that covers me on some level to show that I truly did send it. So then it's like, it's frustrating because you have to wait like 7 days or maybe 10 days or something for this process, this dispute to get resolved. This is very stressful because you don't know if you're going to win or not. And in this case, it rarely happens because usually I don't allow the international shipping, especially for higher value items where things can go wrong and the shipping itself can make the whole sale just not profitable. Um, as these days were going by, and I think eBay's hoping you'll just cave and refund the person. That way, the buyer is happy because they got their money back, and most in this case, I suspect also because they got the item. And then they assume since you were willing to refund it, it wasn't the end of the world for you. For me, $60 when $30 of it especially was shipping that was expected to be paid by the buyer. That's a huge dent for me. So I contacted their customer service, which even took a little bit of hoops to jump through. I mean, I could make a separate video on that, I think, where you have to request help and they'll try to figure out automated ways, but eventually you can escalate it up to a representative. And I explained that to the representative for a few reasons. One, I wanted documentation, and they will provide a transcript later to show that I'd already been through this potential problem and I have the situation clarified. I'd also researched that with global shipping, all right, if you're the buyer, you're protected because if you don't get the item and you can prove that it was not delivered through the tracking, then you get your money back, all right? But I also was seeing that as a seller, you're protected that if the item goes lost, that the dispute will be found in your favor and you will not be penalized like bad feedback or something. But what I was seeking clarification through the customer representative was the selling points on the global shipping program suggested that I wouldn't lose my money. And so what I talked to an associate through the chat thing or whatever, and she confirmed that I would not lose my money. I would get it back. And so I was greatly relieved. It's just that, now I just have to wait a few more days for this dispute to finally go through. I really don't understand why there isn't an option, because what eBay will say is, hey, if you guys can't work it out within this time frame, the buyer can ask eBay to step in, which of course, if you're not going to refund them, they're going to do. So I don't know why eBay can't just be like, hey, buyer or seller, just state you're not going to refund it and ask eBay to step in now. But I think the thing is eBay is hoping that you will just send the money and then they don't lose money as well. So finally, on Tuesday or whatever, the dispute was decided, sure enough, in the buyer's favor because I could not prove that it got delivered. So understandably, I'm frustrated. I got to get through my work day before I can tackle this. I get home and then you can appeal it. All right. So I appealed it. And of course, of the options, I don't know how many, there's at least 8, I think. And it's one I think is more updated tracking, which isn't going to happen, and all these other things. But the option that I wanted, which is I'm protected by global shipping, is not there. So it's in other that you have to select and then type in your own thing, which in my case, I said, I talked to a customer representative and they said that they confirmed that because I use global shipping, I even quoted where it says in global shipping that the seller will be found in favor of a dispute if the item goes lost. The item clearly has gone lost because it's been 2 months and no one knows where it is. So then within 24 hours, eBay answered back and said, all right, your appeal has been heard and we have decided in your favor and reversed it. Um, but I'm pretty sure what happens with this is I got my money back, and the buyer got the item and the refund. Um, it's so I tell you this just because if you go through this kind of stressful ordeal, just hang in there. Do not give the refund. Um, you're gonna have to get through that 7 or 10 days or whatever it is where that it may even only be like 5 days or something, but it feels like forever, especially if you depending on how much money is at stake. And if sometimes they'll put a hold on your account and you can't get your new sales money until this thing is resolved. Hang in there. Do not refund them. If you did use global shipping, and once again, I mean, part of this is definitely use global shipping because this is like the second time this has ever happened. But it is a tremendous benefit for both the buyer and the seller because you can show that you did send it. Like I even explained, why should I lose money when I can prove I shipped the item, it got to the buyer's country, and it's not my fault that their country is corrupt or has inefficient tracking, which the whole point of the global shipping is that you should be secure with this. Like if I wouldn't be surprised if eBay is figuring out which countries they can't put in this global shipping program, but that I can't. But that's just speculation. But anyway, yeah. So if you're watching this, I hope this helps you. Just hang in there. Don't refund the money. Wait for the appeal. I do recommend doing what I did and finding a customer representative to confirm what I am telling you will happen for you, so that you can use it as support for when they find in favor of the buyer. And even then, you're going to have. Luckily, at least I didn't have to wait long. It was only like less than a day, and the appeal was decided. Um, just hang in there, and hopefully this video helps you. Please let me know if it does. I personally didn't search any YouTube videos, but maybe other people will. And I don't expect to do much eBay advice, but maybe I will if this gets a good response or if you have questions. But please like and subscribe if it helps. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.